Welcome back to the channel. This is Stasia. It's been a minute if you've been following me for a while. I've been off for about a week and moving into a new space, externally and internally. So I'm looking forward to some future times together. What is coming up that I want to share is this is something every year that I do as part of like I guess you could call like a internal calling or part of my dharma, and that is that my birthday is every winter solstice on the 21st of December, and it's always felt like it's less about being my birthday and it's more about me being called to be some kind of a gatekeeper for the energies that are present on that day, and I've kind of always felt that, and so I've always tried to do something on that day for those that I love. And one thing that I've done for years is the countdown, like the 40 to 50 day window between the 11/11 and the solstice. So this year, I'm going to go ahead and stick with tradition a little bit, change it up. We are doing gateways to the solstice. So it begins at All Souls Day, Samhain, right? So November 1st, right after this make-believe Halloween kind of thing, the distorted version. Because we really are moving into what I like to call the death gates during this time. So that All Souls Day, Day of the Dead, Samhain, is a transition point. It's a midpoint on the natural calendar between the equinox and the solstice. So like on a pagan calendar, that's one of the lesser Sabbats, where the solstices and equinoxes are greater Sabbats. And I'm not like specifically pagan, but I do like to draw from all these traditions and feel what feels most natural to me. So there is something I've followed over the years that happens that is a natural process, especially in Northern Hemisphere. It might be different in the Southern Hemisphere. Maybe you are the other solstice point, but everything leading up to between Samhain, that All Souls Day, the Day of the Dead, and the solstice, there's a profound shift toward the inner realm. And there's an opportunity through specific gateways along that trajectory that they're like calibration knobs, I've noticed, to your consciousness, to the way you're showing up, right? And if we tune into these intentionally and do some practices around them, we can really actually harness the solstice energy to a degree that would seem unimaginable if you haven't done it. It can really blow your mind, really be a potent portal, gateway for a leap in your consciousness, which translates to a leap in your physical world, your mental world, your emotional world, your financial world, should you choose to tune into that. So guys, this is my new homemade kombucha. Can you tell it is purple? It's got that blue butterfly pea flower stuff mixed with pu'er tea, and it is delish. Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit more, and then if you want to jump into the program, you can message me for a small financial investment, which I think is important because energetically it allows us to say, I'm tapping into this energy. Like I'm putting my money where my mouth is, where my intention is. I'm putting something physical on that. So just a thought about finances. But so we're going to start at All Souls Day, the 11/1. So that's 3 ones. 1, 1, 1. The 1 is a beginning point, right? The oneness. And there's 3 of them, which is making up the Trinity, or 3 points on a triangle, which, if you think about it, a line is a line. A triangle moves you from this dimension, one dimension, to like now you can pass through, where you couldn't do that with a line between two. A third point, the Trinity, the triangle, opens up some kind of portal. So on that 111 is the day that we open this gateway, and we're not actually opening it together, it's being open, it's opening itself. It's like the chakras dialing themselves to accept, receive more life force energy. So intentionally we gather as a group at these specific calibration points and attune to them so that we can access greater understanding, presence, depth in our experiences in our life and our relationships. So we go from the 111 to the 1111. That will be the next meeting, which is 2 2s. It's very much a mastery number by itself, and in the sets we're talking relationship mirroring. So there is inner union that goes on and potentially outer union or the up-leveling of those. And then we hit the 12-12. So 12s by themselves is a 3. So now we've got the 2 trinities, right? The 2 portals. So we're like growing, right, to our now I'm losing the word, the biological word of mitosis, right? So then that 12-12, not only are we opening 2 portals, but there is a completion with a 12. There also is an access to, say, 12 dimensions, 12 layers of self. So there's some deeper work that can be done there to attune and also let go of some of the previous cycles, previous templates, what you've been working with previously and what reality has been. It's an opportunity to take that to another level in preparation to receive the solstice frequencies. And the solstice frequencies, it's like a giant, like a stargate from God, basically, that opens you up at the depth of your being at the longest night of the year. The most access to the unknown is present at that time. So the 4, the 111, the 1111, the 12, or the 1122. I feel like I'm missing something. No, 111, 1111, 1122, and 1212. Those are the 4 meeting points in preparation for the solstice point. That's the point that my consciousness is here to anchor, sitting at the galactic center with my sun. So there's some potent frequencies that come that I'm inviting you to tune into with me if you want to. If you do, click a link below to join in to Gateway to Solstice 2024. That's what I'm going to call it. If you have been following the channel, you may have noticed I've been doing some weekly tarot readings for a few weeks as this transition point has been happening for me, and they did not happen this week. So if you're waiting for that, I apologize. It's not super aligning to do it this way for me. I do personal readings. I kind of wanted just to put some out there so that some of you might be aware that I do that. But it's not like the deepest soul calling for me. So there's some transitions going on that I'm even going to harness this solstice gateway to attune me to. There are things trying to show themselves as we are preparing now to leave Pluto in Capricorn and transition Pluto in Aquarius for the next 16 to 20 years, right? So it's a major, major, major end of a cycle and a beginning of another major cycle, all overlapping and coinciding. I think it goes into Aquarius permanently on the 19th of November, just a couple of days before our 1122. So those first 2 gateways, we're kind of like wrapping up and completing some things, and then we begin to start something new. So if you feel called to guidance during that time, I am opening up the Solstice Gateway, Gateway to Solstice 2024, for anyone who wants to join in. Again, the link is below. You can make the investment all at one time or at each gateway, so just check that out. It's really just a token of putting your energy somewhere, but definitely can have some powerful effects. So I am inviting you on that journey. Today is, there's some really yummy vibes going on today. There's some yummy astrological energies that are in preparation for some big changes in humanity. So I'm inviting you at the end of this video to just tune into that with me. Tune into the bigger energies that are around your life. And you're probably aware of what they are, like happenings that have been going on, relationships, situations, what's been kind of like growing or inflamed or showing itself most. Tune into that. And you're going to probably find that they exist in the positive and the negative. Right? There's some really cool things showing that maybe are new things, and there's some old things that are showing that are, making their way out. I think this couldn't be a more perfect time for me to lead this Death Gate portal journey to the solstice, having just lost my father recently, and now another dear family member. I'm heading down to a funeral next week to attend. So it is actually on the eve of All Souls Day. So it feels kind of like this is the universe telling me this is what I need to do right now. I need to utilize the energies. I had an insight, and maybe I shared it in one of the videos around the time my dad died, and you guys, you can look back at the death card video for that, or the ones right around it, but I'm pretty sure that I at least wrote this in my journal. And that is, things that are going on in your life, or stuff going on with people in your life, when someone close to you dies, and you go through that whole ritual and that burial and ceremony and honoring, there's something about what flares up around you in that time that if you're aware and you're conscious of it, I suppose it can happen even if you're unaware, but more powerful when you are, you can actually take that stuff to the grave, because it's like you're now on the other side of the line. You are, if you're following a casket, you're a pallbearer, right? You're helping bear the weight of this transition. You are holding up the line. You are walking with, and also why maybe people dress to be mourners, or you have all the parts of the ceremony is to push you over a line that you're not normally at. You're not normally that close to death and the frequency of death and what death can do for us as a transitional, transformational energy. And we're in Scorpio season right now, which rules your 8th house, even if you have a different sign there, that is about death and transformation. So as we're in this time, this constellational frequency, right? The scorpionic transformative death frequency is asking, for you to notice the things that are presencing themselves that are ready to be taken to the grave. That are no longer the big shiny objects that they once were. And that can be parts of our persona, that can be people in our lives, old ways of doing things, places or happenings. But as we notice that, it's almost like an opportunity will present, and this may be that opportunity for you, for there to be a pathway for those things to be taken to the grave. And that's what I'm offering you. I suppose you could call me a little bit of a death doula these days. Part of the journey of consciousness is being able to be with the things that are shedding, and be with the transformation and yourself and in other people. And it's scary and it's hard. You feel like a death process when you're shedding, when you're releasing, when you're up-leveling. It's not comfortable. I've been in that a lot for months now, watching old parts of self die, but it's also exciting. It's exciting because that means new parts of self are growing, are being birthed, are evolving out of us. And this isn't really the way our consciousness was taught to think about life and growing up. We were taught that we just kind of like grow up and then we age and die. Like we just have this plateau pinnacle and then we die. And midlife crises, that's around 40, and then it's all downhill from there. But when you live in a different paradigm, a different way of looking at life, when you shift to your God essence, to your true essence, to truth, not to the programming that you've been fed, not to the programming you've been fed about how long you have to live or what your life must look like. When you begin to observe the natural cycles and you see things spring up in the spring, they bloom and they blossom in the height of the sun, they wither, they die, they crumble, they feed the ground. I mean, this seems like common sense, but it's something that it's good to review, especially as that's happening in nature around us, to tune into that, to get linked up with it, to ride that wave of into the death gates and allow the things to shed, and to do so with support, just like, you know, when people gather and support each other through the loss of a loved one. There's a great like lifting up. There's something happens in that coming together, the wake, you know, you might call it. It is like a wave that washes over you, and together you're able to bring up things, release them, cry, let them go. So the same is with this time of year, and my invitation to you to join the journey between Samhain and the solstice with me. I hope to see you there. Thanks for tuning in, and I am road tripping to the funeral, so we'll be doing some videos from along the way, so I can't wait to see you there. And for those of you who missed one of my videos a few weeks back, I did give a shout out to an awesome crystal show on Instagram, Midnight Fluorite. I have an IG live sale, Midnight Fluorite IG live sale site on Instagram, doing lives Friday night. You should check it out. There's some really great supportive crystals, and I'm starting to look at how to bring the crystals that you have personally chosen. Maybe if you look around your house, like there's a reading that can be done around that. So stay tuned for more on that. Okay, hope to see you at Gateway to Solstice 2024. This is Stasia Bliss. Thank you for being here. I love you. Namaste.